Woohoo! Yes, indeed. What's up, world? How are you? E-Customist is tapping in. This is trimester number 3 of 2025, lesson number 1. We are here every single Wednesday. Well, at least I am here every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're bringing you everything that we know from all of our collective years of being professional musicians. These are free lessons for all ages and all levels, brought to you right here on NGO Radio Terra's YouTube channel. So thank you to them for having us and hosting this beautiful, beautiful educational experience. And also big shout out to Roland Corporation, Tamboro Drums, Proel, Icon Microphones, and Sunhouse for being our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. They keep us laced with all the best gear. We are very, very, very happy to be working with them. Today, we're going to start at the very beginning. I think it's super important for us on lesson number 1 to just start out with posture, grip, technique, and we might even get into a couple rudiments as well. But again, this is just the first lesson, and as we progress through the trimester, I'm going to be getting more advanced with the concepts and the grooves and stuff like that. But just because this is for all levels and all ages, we're going to start out with grip. All right, just even how to hold the sticks can dramatically improve your sound and your whole technique in general. And I think that everyone's hands are different, so everyone's going to experience being at the front of the stick or the back of the stick more than others. But for me, I like to have about 1.5 to 2 inches sticking out of the back of the stick. Depending on if I'm playing really, really soft, I might choke up on the stick a little bit, and that does change the sound too. Choking back on the stick is going to give a lot more weight, but I find much less control. So there's a couple different ways to hold the sticks like this, right? And the first one is kind of this overhand pie slice, right? You see here on this camera, it's better to show it on the overhead camera. So this is German grip, and German grip is really good because our wrists tend to bend at this fulcrum better than it does this way, okay? And although we do use this way and any way in between, the German grip capitalizes mostly on this up and down. And this is really good for certain tempos of single stroke rolls, right? American grip, I was going to say French, but first let's go from German to American grip. American grip is the German grip just turned upward slightly, so it's not like your thumbs are facing the ceiling, but it's like sort of the, instead of being over like this, you're sort of turning that 30 degrees. So this way we're getting a bit more of the finger action. We can utilize the middle finger a little bit better. We can utilize the pointer finger a little bit better in American grip. So German. Right, German grip. American grip. French grip. Now, French grip is obviously just the more extreme version of the American grip in that the thumbs are pointed directly up. So, double stroke roll with the French grip. With the American grip. German grip. Okay, so these are the 3 different types of matched grips, okay? Now, we're going to come over here to traditional grip, and the traditional grip is really one of my favorite grips, and it lends itself to jazz drumming and marching and symphonic percussion, marching band stuff. Depending on what I'm doing, I have most of the time both of my fingers over the top of the stick, and the stick is going in between the middle finger and the ring finger. So think of the traditional grip as having a trap door in it. So sometimes these fingers will drop out and it'll just be the thumb doing all the work, or might just be these top 1 or 2 fingers doing all the work plus the thumb. And then, you know, these fingers, because they sort of just support the stick and create stability, they could drop out, and that's where you could get a better bounce. So right now, when I take away the middle finger, I get even more bounce. Right? So versus. So also, if I want to get a buzz roll going, I move the traditional grip up into the first knuckle of my pointer finger, and I drop the trap door completely out from the bottom. So the stick really has no stability, right? Right, traditional grip, this buzz grip. And then so I start out here. Let me actually move this camera so you can see a little bit more. Yeah. There you go. So now, if I wasn't using this loose of a grip in the left hand, it could sound like this. Right, virtually no sound difference. However, when you speed it up, it does change the sound. So I can get a lot more coverage across the head this way. Right? And when you have more fingers under the stick and over the stick, it will stop the stick from bouncing as much. Right? So again, when you take out the trap door, if you will, and you just let the thumb kind of hold on to the stick here, right? Then you'll get a better buzz roll. So going around and playing with all the different grips is really fun, and I hope that you got to see and hear a variety of sounds and textures through these grips. So again, traditional grip, still traditional grip, French grip, American grip, German grip. All right, so we can talk more about grips as the trimester continues on, because we're going to bring in brushes, we're going to bring in mallets. I'm going to talk about how I move with those. But just so you know, the most important thing that you can do to create stability in any grip is to strengthen your pinky finger and your ring finger. All right, so these two fingers right here are so important when it comes to drumming, because they need to actually be the strongest in your hand. This finger gets known for being the fastest, and this finger gets known for being the strongest. This finger gets known for being the thing that keeps it all together. This finger right here and this finger right here don't get worked on as much, and because it's in the back of the hand, sometimes a novice drummer might think that these fingers aren't important. In fact, they are the most important, and they are the weakest naturally. So when we play drums, it's really important that we don't play from the front of our hands, okay? It's important that we play from the back of our hands. And I'll just show you a sound difference. Hopefully you can hear the difference here. All right, now, front of the hands. Again, back of the hand. Front of the hand. So I know I can feel the difference. I'm not sure if you can hear the difference, especially for a lesser experienced ear. It may not ring so true to you that there is a massive tone difference. And the reason why is because I have much more control over the stick when I'm playing from the back of the hand. In fact, when I'm playing from the back of the hand, I'm actually much less tense in these three fingers, right, which mostly do all the work in all other drumming contexts. Right, so playing from the back of the hand. Now, if I play from the front of the hand, these fingers that always do all the work are completely caught up in controlling the stick, and these fingers, which are best in stabilizing the stick and not really doing much motor skills with it, are left to do nothing. So all the speed and all the fingers that do all the real work are busy holding the stick, while these fingers don't really do much. So you want to hold the stick from these fingers, which don't have that much speed involved. I mean, they can. Don't get me wrong. These fingers move when you're playing a single stroke roll or something like that, right? right? They move, but when it comes to real stick control, especially in a pocket context and grooves, right? So you can hear the difference because I'm able to actually really control the stick and my sound is much more powerful. Also, I actually have the ability to control every single stroke, whereas if I'm playing from the front of the hand, I don't know if I'm going to get a double or a single. I don't know if I'm going to actually have a big, fat, beefy sound. And generally, when you see beginner drummers or drummers, people who just sit down at the drum set and just decide to go crazy or play around for a second, they usually play like this, you know? Right? They don't play in a controlled way. And so how you can practice this is by sitting in front of the TV, sitting in front of the computer, sitting in front of the phone, sitting in the backyard. Do something mindless. Do something that you don't have to actually do much thinking for, and just do this. All right? What you're doing is you're literally just, if I can slow it down for you, you're just throwing the stick forward and letting it come back to this soft tissue, this soft webbing between your thumb and your pointer finger. And you're just strengthening these fingers. Strengthening these fingers by making them be the sole holders of the stick. All right? You're basically making a drum stroke like this. Oh, let me plug up my computer, guys. Sorry, hold on. Yes, indeed. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I just didn't want my computer to die on us. Okay. Back to this technique. You're sitting there in front of the computer, sitting there in front of the TV, doing something that you enjoy, something kind of mindless. You've got about 2 inches in the back of the stick, right? This is basically the exercise that we're going to use so that when we do close down fully on the stick and we're playing like this, that exercise has prepared us for how to hold the stick, right? So you can't really see it right now, but the majority of the pressure that I'm playing with is at the back of the stick. That's why you see my pointer fingers hanging off the stick and being kind of loose, or my middle finger even kind of being a little loose under the stick. It's because most of the power and most of the strength is coming from the back of my hand. Not the first 3 fingers, but the back 2 fingers, which I explained earlier are the most naturally weak. Okay, so we work those fingers and we work those muscles by clenching them and holding the stick, and then making these sort of like big, broad single strokes. And once your stick stops kind of like flying out the hand and getting all willy-nilly as you make these single strokes, that's how you'll know that this is working. All right, so by the time you get here, your hand is naturally coming from the right place. This is me playing from the front of the hand in the same beat. With the back of the hand.